Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to enable chargeback or showback in the Snow Atlas platform. First of all, what is chargeback and what is showback? So chargeback is allocation of actual cost to departments or business units, making them financially accountable for their usage. This drives optimization and accountability and gives good visibility into the company usage. Showback, this provides visibility into the costs per department or cost centers without billing them, informational and helping build cost awareness. So, first of all, how would you do this? First of all, it's setting up your organization structure by coming into Snow Atlas settings, organization structure, and as we can see here, we already have an example set up. But if you're setting this up for the first time, you have a button in the middle of the screen asking you to create an organization. So in this case, as you can see, we have the root node, which is our Flexera customer, and then we have a subnode of Flex Demo and subnodes into here, IT and PNC. Alternatively, if you're setting this up for your company, you can have different regions or different aspects like that. You can always import your organization structure via a CSV file using the import functionality, or you can use the API to import this, which we won't be covering in this session, but we do recommend using the documentation for this, as it does guide you through how to set this up. So once you have an organization structure set up, what do you do first? It's first of all, we need to be able to assign our assets to the organization to give us the breakdown of where our data is coming from. So looking into computers is the first step. Having your computers assigned to an organization so you know which departments, which regions and areas these are assigned to. In this case, we are seeing that we have this computer set to PNC. You can do this manually by coming into the computer here in Actions and Edit, and then selecting Edit Organization, and then selecting your node from here and hitting Apply. Alternatively, you can also use the import functionality that's built into the Snow Atlas platform using import data, which uses a CSV file, and you can add the organization values via that way. Or you can also use the Snow Atlas APIs to update the value. Or there we do have the automatic system called organization assignment, which lets us create rules. For example, we want to do add criteria, and we're doing everything with the host name that contains the function C. And this, we want everything to go to PNC. For example, if you set up your computers per region and per department, such as PNC Computer 1, you can use PNC Computer 1 or computer, and then it will, as long as it contains that values, it will then move these computers to that organization. And then once it's been created, you can click Apply Rules, and this will take effect at applying the rules. So once you've got your computers assigned to an organization, you might also want to have your licenses assigned as well. One of the common ways to assign a license to a computer is using the auto assignment, which will assign their license based off their organization unit. For example, if we come into this one here and click Edit, we can see that the assignment type down here is set to organization. And we can see the assignment here is already labeled out to PNC will get 45, the IT will get 5, and then you can edit this by having the option of using auto assignment, which would just base it off the root node if you wish to do so. For example, we can see how many were required is 8 and quantity is 50. But if you wish to do this manually, which would be recommended if you're doing it a breakdown per region, for example, you know in the PNC there should only be 10 users with 10 computers with the application, you can do a direct assignment as such. As well as if you wish to expand it further, you can also say from here, I think only IT should have 20. And then from there, we can see this breaks it down into different sections. based off this, and it will automatically update the root node to see how many we have left. By default, we can see we have 50 in our case, because that's what we've specified in the quantity. And this breaks it down into each section, and we can see how many we have total assigned, how many we have remaining to assign as such. Once done, you can click Save. But to note, you will need to use the recalculate compliance before this is taking effect. To note, this does take some time to apply, so please do be patient. So once you have your licenses assigned, your computers, you can also assign their users manually by coming into the Users tab, click Edit, and assign your organization as such via this method. But we won't do that in this case. Once you've assigned these all out, how do you get visibility into how this is done? To do this, you can come to Reporting and come to, for example, we're going to use the computer. We want to see how many computers are under a certain organization. In our case, we've assigned the organization as a base value, and we can see from here that we have now breakdown of all our computers and how they are assigned out. We have 23 computers that fall under the root node. We have one computer that falls under the IT, and one computer that falls under the PNC in this example. So this gives you visibility into each part of your organization, where how your computers are assigned out. So giving you sort of an idea of overarching use cases. For example, if you're in a PNC department and you know that each PNC member needs to have a select application installed, you can get a quick grasp of how many users should have, or how many licenses you will need for the application. For example, 23 at first glance, because we have 23 computers, or in the PNC's case, one. But based off this, you might need to then look at further details. If you're looking at longevity in this aspects of, are the users using the application? Is the application still needed? So in that case, you'd want to come to the licenses or compliance report. For example, if we come to compliance summary, we're going to remove the filter in this case and hit share report. This gives us a full breakdown of every application that we have and insight into how they've been covered as such. To note, you do have options to add in further columns via using the column selector, in this case from here. So coming back to reports, you can use a license report. As for example, all licenses. We can click show report, which gives us a base overview of like the assignment type and all the licenses that I've set up. As we can see here, we can see which legal organization they've been assigned to. So for example, if you have set this up to have a license per legal node, you can see from here that these are how they've been set up. In our case, that we've set this up for different nodes. Two are under the root node, and one is assigned underneath their flex demo node. As before, you can use the column selector to get further insights into how everything is done. To further insight into break different options and values, such as the vendor, update by, and such values. So why is all of this important? Once you have all of this key information, this will give out values, quantities, and costs if you add in those columns. And this will give you an overall insight into where your licenses are being used, where they're not being used, where there's usage and not usage, allowing you to confidently look to expand and decrease or reduce your license usage, or increase it to make sure you're covered for audit readiness when needed and possible. So when it comes to reports, the key part is you can always use the compliance report to do exports. With all our reports, you can come in and download them, as well as if you wish to make edits, as for example, we can see here. We want to add a criteria organization. And let's say I only want to have a report that will show me the licenses that fall under this Flex demo account. We can come into here and then save report and make a saved custom report for this. As we can see here, we have the Flex demo license report now, and we can have this scheduled to send to our email at a set time each day. This will come as a zip file, allowing us to then use this in third-party tools to do showback or costback aspects and insights, or to give you a daily visibility of your company spend and usage. As for example, as the company grows, it's key to be able to have this visibility into how your applications are used or how applications become no longer used over time or as the company grows or shrinks at moments in time of user count of each individual department and application allocation. So another key thing to be able to do is coming into the settings and using other aspects such as custom fields, which can give you further key details or tags or valuing that you might need. For example, if you're integrating into tools such as Snowflake environments, you can use custom fields and have these mapped to object tags or query tags that might help you have tagging to different departments and projects, enabling granular cost analysis as well as giving you that further insight. Into here, you can also have other aspects as the Node dashboard and customize this to display different breakdowns of key information that you might see in the default dashboard. As we can see, it comes down to just the key event read computers. And as we can see, each one does allow us to go into the details further and look into these. For example, we can see that all our computers come in, and we can filter this further to the ones that are in different organizations, giving us insights into if there's departments where devices are not being inventoried anymore, could be down to the computers no longer used, and they could be removed for cost saving or reallocation of the licenses where it might be needed more. So the key parts of always when it comes to the Showback and Chargeback, Showback is going to give you the visibility into the aspects without having a cost tied to it. But then once you have everything broken down and assigned over time using the assignment rules, using manual assignment or imports or via the API, depending on your business use case, you can break this down into different departments, different areas, and make it visible into where departments are scaling and could be having potential cost savings over time as the company does adapt. We hope this is giving you an idea of how to use the Snow Atlas platform for showback and chargeback aspects, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.